know that a lot of students also try to figure out, well, if I'm going to be, going overseas and taking all that time and doing that, if I want to do Maymester, why don't I just also do a summer program too? So that's a really good question, because I have known students that have done both of those back to back, where they have, started off in a Maymester and then they have done a summer program. Now you want to keep in mind that, of course, as I was saying before, that Maymester programs tend to be hyper focused, and they tend to be catered to students that are trying to get something done for a degree or for a specific project or a practicum or whatever it is. So you may not necessarily be able to tack them together in that way. So it may be where you have to apply for the program separately, whether it be through your college or your university or through an independent, outside organization. That is fine. But I think that could actually be an interesting way to do it. Now, as I always recommend, a lot of students use the summertime to catch up on electives and to do different things. So you always want to make sure that if you are interested in studying abroad anytime, but particularly in the summer, if you really need to catch up on electives or get ahead in some academic credit, that you just make sure that your college or university is aware that you're going to be studying abroad, and also to check with them about what the rules are about, getting credit for that, whether you're going through their program or whether you're going through an external program, because you don't want to embark on a journey and then not be able to get the credit that you need. But it could be really interesting. Let's say you did a Maymester where, maybe you're in the arts and you went to, I don't know, France or somewhere, and you were doing a specialized Maymester program, but then, you did that and then you came back home, but then you were also interested in doing an internship, let's say maybe in Germany, or maybe you are from a different part of the world and you want to come here to the US to do an internship for the summer, but you also did a Maymester somewhere else, or you may want to do them in the same place. I would say that that is definitely possible. It's something that people have done in the past, and that it's something that might be worth doing, because even though they are not going to be the same, so as you probably know, or if you don't know, I can tell you now, with the summer programs, I always say that they mirror Maymester in the sense of they are both very intensive compared to either if you're doing it in the spring or in the fall, because those are full-length programs. So if you're in a place for 5 or 6 months, you have plenty of time. There's not necessarily that time constraint, it's just basically a semester, but you are abroad. So you know how a semester or even a quarter works, where it's like you have, a certain amount of projects that you work on, you have a certain amount of maybe papers that you write or whatever, but the day-to-day life is pretty slow in terms of going to class and then you study and you do all of this. In both Maymester and in summer programs, it's like dialed up by like 10 degrees on that. I would say that in Maymester programs, maybe you're going from a scale of, if you're looking at a scale from 1 to 10, Maymester is at a 10, and then summer programs are at an 8, and regular programs are like at a 5. So you have to think of it that way in terms of what's going to be expected of you, the turnaround of different projects, the sort of expectations of, working with a group and how you do different things. You have to sort of factor all that in. But one of the great things about the summer programs is that you get a chance to do other things. So maybe you do want to do an internship abroad. For Maymester, you're not going to have time to do that. Like, there's not really anything that, would be considered like a 3-week internship. You do have like, times where, let's say for 6 weeks or 7 weeks, you can do that, throughout the year maybe, but that's not going to be as fruitful for you. You're not going to have time to really dive into an organization and accomplish anything in an internship in 3 weeks. So that's why you won't see really any Maymester programs that are internship based. They're all about, actual focused on an academic subject or topic area or project area or something like that. But with the summertime, even though it is much more fast paced, it gives you a chance to, study abroad and do an internship. Or even if you are just focused on an academic based program, you get to, let's say, do a little bit more general studies, but maybe you want to do a language, maybe you want to, do some fun electives, whatever it is. So I would say that it definitely is something that is worth looking into, as long as, again, you can be clear on what it's going to look like for you to get those credits. You also want to factor in, obviously, the pricing. Is it going to be where you are going to be going to the same country? So maybe you do your Maymester, as I was saying before, you come back home and then you go back to that country as part of a different program. That's one thing, but you have to factor in, what the pricing is, and also to visas. Those are going to be really important, because a lot of times, unfortunately, you can't have 2 visas at once. And so you would just need to make sure that you kind of understand what the deadline is for one or the other. So maybe you are a student from the US and you are interested in doing your Maymester with your school over in, let's say the UK, because you knew I was going to say that. And so, you're going to the UK, but then what you're doing is you're coming back home, but you also want to go over to Germany. You need to figure out what it's going to look like to make sure that you can suspend the one visa that you're going to have and then get the other one. And, like, you also are going to have to consider the fact that usually to get a visa, you have to send it into the consulate. And so what does that look like? Are you able to go to the consulate in the UK to get your German visa, or how does that even work? And that typically, is not always a quick turnaround. So there's little things like that if you have not, studied abroad or have not even been around, this business or whatever, that you may not understand. But timing is always the essence of everything. And as we know, like, as we move forward within, the pandemic and all of that, things just take longer than you would expect. So those are some of the tips that you want to look at, or, like, what does the application kind of look like? What are you going to need to consider for that? So I just want to sort of just follow up on the fact of, Maymesters are definitely a great way to get in some study abroad, but also to have some specialized focused while you are abroad compared to a lot of other programs. But that adding on a summer opportunity after that is also worth considering too, if you're interested in just getting a little bit of a longer time and still having more of a sort of a longer structured program abroad. And, like, having an opportunity, as I said before, to maybe do an internship or, maybe an apprenticeship program, or, there's so many different summer programs that happen in the summer abroad as well. So you might have an opportunity to do all that. So I would definitely look into it, research it, understand what the different moving parts are, and then just definitely get out there and pursue it. And of course, come here and report back and let us know how it goes. I definitely always like to hear the different things that students are doing. Now, if you are interested in getting some help with study abroad, if you're looking for a program, if you're trying to find more information on how to get started with it, I offer very affordable study abroad advising. So you can just go to the link that is just here on the screen. You can plug that into search engine, or you can alternatively click the link that I have in the description box and just go ahead and sign up for that. I offer it on a weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly basis. I would love to take some time to sit with you and help you figure out your plans for Maymester, summer, fall, it doesn't matter when. I love working with study abroad students, obviously love having you here. So please leave a comment below and let me know, are you planning to do a Maymester program this year, 2022? Are you interested in doing a summer program? Are you interested in doing a fall program? What are you interested in about study abroad, and where are you planning on going? I always like to know where my students are interested in going. So definitely leave a comment below. Also, please like this video. Please share this video with someone that you know that might also be interested in study abroad. And please subscribe to the channel. I release videos every single Friday and sometimes on Wednesdays and Tuesdays. So definitely want you here. And I will see you on the next one.